The politics of Bungoma County is interesting for us, for people who live with disability, because of the candidature of one team Wanyonyi. It is not that we must be mobilized as people with disability, given the handouts for us to have an opinion. I believe it is a moral and onerous duty to support one of our own, even if by just voicing our view. No matter what team he is one of us. And I believe that if we let him be trampled on, if we let him alone, or we let him bundle us in some hall for handouts, we'll be losing our moral perspective in this crusade of rights for people with disability. Here is not a question of party, it's not a question of tribal affiliation, it's not a question of family, whether he is a brother or not a brother to our speaker, Moses Wetangula. Those are immaterial considerations. What we need to look at is what can he offer in terms of management? What is his track record? What is his stature? The county of Bungoma deserves a governor who is approachable, who is sellable to the international world, and who understands rights of people who have come from a marginalized perspective. And I'll wish that we get better forums, people come up with better points other than the fact that he's a brother to our speaker, or he should keep his politics in Nairobi. Those are areas he has honed his skills, and we will reap out of it. That is my position. Support is comparative. It's a question of measuring what is in the field against what is bringing. If you look at the other candidates, at least the ones we know, I think Tim stands way above them. One, we have a former governor, His Excellency the former governor Ngamati. We have the candidature of Honorable Didimus and others. If you look at Bungoma with the experiences we have had, then that is where team comes in. A person with disability that team brings in is that the two may look very good with their own resumes, but at least we are sure that a person with disability will not sponsor violence, will not bring out politics of chaos. A team is very polished, very humble. The demeanor, the stature is good for this county. Two, look at what he has done in Westlands. Look at the cosmopolitan nature of that constituency and see who else will do it. If it were them to stand in Westlands, they wouldn't get anywhere. So Tim comes in with that background, and besides being a lawyer of repute, he is very humble, he's very supportive of ventures of people who are marginal, not just disabilities. That ability to cobble a team, a management team, that can reflect the wishes of this county is now where team beats the others. Wangamati is tried, you saw what is here, he too did good projects, but his personality and how he was relating with even the downtrodden is very wanting, to say the least. Didimus, very good, a grassroots mobilizer, but is that all we want? Is that all we want for Bungoma? His other side is very intimidating. And that is, for me, where team brings in sobriety, consultations, before engaging. You can't come in with a perspective of know-it-all. You can't come here with a perspective of intimidations, and you can't come here with a perspective of being untouchable. I think that those are my grounds. The demeaning politics, my friend, is what will hurt you. If you are born with disability, it is not easy. You can see even other electoral seats, MCA, MP, it attracts very few people from either gender. The women are already well protected. If they can't run for these other seats, they can go and run for women rep. But you see, the field for people with disability is very restrictive. And for one of us to come up to that level of even just wanting to be a governor, it's very encouraging. But the demeaning politics reflects the position of a person with disability in this society, that you can't get it. Anything that a person with disability has a right over, they must bring in a demeaning politics. The demeaning politics against him is twofold. One, that is a person with disability. Two, that his other mistake is that his elder brother is a party leader or a speaker. So if you have a brother who is a speaker, you can't contest. You can't bring in your skills. If you are a person with disability, does that limit you from meaningful contribution to the society? So it's about society looking at people with disability from a perspective of what can they bring on the table, without looking at your family background, without looking at how restrictive your disability is. So this is an eye opener for people living with disability and the society itself. It is a glut in the society. How can you assume all other aspects of one person and only die with two issues? That he has an elder brother who is doing very well, politically, or as a clout, and the fact that he is disabled. You see, my brother, disability will restrict even him to get to them. There are areas even you can't get to when you want to campaign. That is why we must take it upon ourselves. There are areas team may not, even if it does want, it will be very restrictive, because society has not opened up roads for people with disability. They even don't care how you get there. But the more the access it is for a person with disability, the better for you, person who is not disabled. So we need someone who understands those limitations to a table of leadership. 15 years of devolution has taught us the following. One, you don't need a governor whose sole mission is populism. Look at what is happening in Kisumu. I work and live in Kisumu. Governor Nyong'o has been able to bring up Kisumu to the level it is because of his non-populist ideas. Governorship is management. That is how Kisumu has transformed itself to what it is. Bungoma suffers the problem of trying to bring in purely politicians or people with political inclination. Their sole mean is to be popular, either by handouts or anything that makes them look popular. Then when you go that route, it means you will negate the politics of development. Bungoma isn't doing very well, even by ratings. You can look at the national ratings of governorship. The governors who are doing better are either totally affiliated to government of the day, which is very critical, that Bungoma should not be found outside of government. And two, that the governor can look at the development agendas without necessarily worrying about giving 200 shillings or 300 shillings in funerals or just cheap popularity. We need a manager of some sort. And there are many. Look at what is happening in Central. Look at what is happening. Even Oparanya, Governor Oparanya did very well in Kakamega because he did not pursue the populist politics that the governorship does not want. It's about skills. It's about looking at what is good for the county. Mungu hawezi kukunyima kila kitu. Anaweza kunyima mkono, anaweza kunyima mguu, anaweza kunyima masikio, lakini anaweza kukua amekuachia kitu kimoja. Mwanzo inaweza kuwa ngumu. Ili tuwe penye tuko, wazazi wetu walijaribu. Kitu ya kwanza ni wazazi, ukiwa na mtoto mlemavu, jaribu umpee uwezo wa kujitegemea. Usifiche mtoto, mpeleke kwa shule, mpeleke kwa matibabu ambayo inafaa. Mimi mzazi wangu bado yupo, Gaitano Wekesa Opilo. Mama yangu marehemu, Nela, Mungu aweke roho yake pahali pema, walinipeleka shule. They took a risk on education. And I'm sure team though disabled in adult will not do much without those basics. 3, if you missed out on formal education, try to acquire a skill or a trade. So, and there's so many avenues. Kuna vitu serikali iko na njia mingi ya kusaidia watu walemavu. Shida inaweza kutusaidia, inatusumbua kama watu walemavu ni ile akili ya kutegemea. Na ulemavu katika society, ndugu yangu, sasa hizi hata ulemavu wa miguu na mkono ni watu tu, naona hata watu wazima kama wewe na vile na kuona natembea hivi, lakini amejiweka katika njia ya omba. Sasa hiyo ndio ulemavu mbaya kwa society kuliko ulemavu ambao unaona wetu. Ndiposa unaona kwa matanga watu wameenda kulia, mtu ameenda kuomba. Akitoka mwenye ameleta 200 akitoka wanawacha matanga, wanaenda kufuata shilingi 200. Sasa huo ulemavu sasa ni mbaya zaidi. Heri hata uwe na ulemavu kama huu wetu kuliko ulemavu wa kuenda kuomba. Na lazima kama jamii, watu wa Bungoma, labda wa Bukusu, it all starts from home. Let us bring back our pride. Na mtu mlemavu huwezi survive kama hauna pride. Huwezi kujiamini kwamba naweza kutoka hapa nifike pale. Inawezekana kupitia vishirika, ushirika wa walemavu na uwezezaji wa watu ambao wameona mbele kama team ambao wako na uwezo kidogo, so that tunyanyue watu wetu kutoka kwa ulemavu haswa huu wa kuona na macho na ulemavu wa akili wa kutaka kupewa kila kitu 200. Mwanaume mzima anataka pewa 200 ndio aende nayo kwa nyumba. Amewacha kutumia the natural skills Mungu alimpatia.